I used to be someone who would toss and turn until 2 or 3 a.m., my body exhausted from sleep deprivation. That changed when I met a 90-year-old man in the mountains of Japan. He taught me my first lesson: longevity sleep begins with a serene mindset and a pure space. After 5 years of applying this wisdom, I want to share with you the 3 most important tips. 1. Relax your mind, the art of letting go. Personal story. Every evening, I spend 10 minutes sitting by the window, breathing in the scent of jasmine tea, a habit I learned from the Japanese. They believe slow, deliberate breathing sends safe signals to the brain, stopping cortisol production, the stress hormone. I count backward from 10, imagining each number as a heavy stone sinking into the ocean's depths. Within 2 weeks, I found myself falling asleep effortlessly. Scientific insight. According to Harvard University, 2018, meditating before bed can reduce the risk of insomnia by 40%. 2. Foot soaking, the free remedy of ancient wisdom. Experience. I vividly recall a winter night when my 85-year-old grandmother soaked her feet in ginger water as she did every evening. She said, "Ginger dispels cold energy, and the soles of your feet are gateways to hundreds of blood vessels." Following her advice, I used 1 crushed ginger root, a tablespoon of coarse salt, and warm water at 40 degrees Celsius. After 15 minutes of soaking, I felt warmth radiating from my feet to my head, like a gentle river washing away fatigue. Note: for individuals with high blood pressure, reduce soaking time to 10 minutes. 3. Turn off blue light, the story of breaking up with screens. Valuable lesson. At age 30, I was diagnosed with sleep disorders caused by late-night phone usage. My doctor pointed to my sleep chart: "You're tricking your brain into believing it's daytime at 2 a.m. From then on, I adopted the 3 no's rule after 9 p.m., no phone, no TV, no work messages. Instead, I read paper books under warm yellow light, what Tibetan monks called the candle of longevity. Try one of these 3 tips tonight. You'll be amazed at how grateful your body will feel. See you in part 2, where I'll share my journey on awakening digestion and the heart before sleep. There's a lesser-known truth: the longest-lived people in Okinawa never go to bed with a full stomach or a sluggish body. They view a light dinner and a few relaxation exercises as a gentle goodbye to their bodies before drifting off to sleep. After years of experimentation, I discovered these 4 tips that completely transformed my sleep quality. 4. Herbal tea, the evening elixir. Personal story. I used to be a coffee addict, drinking 3 cups a day, which led to sleepless nights. Once in Dalat, I met a 92-year-old Tao woman who could still climb mountains effortlessly. She offered me a cup of chamomile tea mixed with forest honey, saying, "This is the elixir of the elderly." I tried it, and the sweet flavor spread, causing my eyelids to close naturally 30 minutes later. Now, I always keep a jar of dried chamomile tea in my kitchen, a treasure that helps me sleep deeply without medication. Scientific insight. Research from the University of Pennsylvania, 2020, shows that apigenin in chamomile activates GABA, a neurotransmitter that induces sleep. 5. A featherlight dinner. Lesson from Japan. In Ajamai village, Okinawa, locals say, "Eat breakfast like a king, lunch like a prince, and dinner like a beggar." I apply the 3 no's rule for dinner: no red meat, no fried foods, and no refined sugar. Instead, I have a bowl of seaweed soup, half an avocado, and a few slices of salmon. The result? I no longer suffer from acid reflux or nightmares that haunted me for 5 years. Note: eat dinner before 7 p.m., and if hungry later, you can have a warm glass of almond milk. 6. Gratitude journal, sowing thoughts, reaping sleep. Experience. I started keeping a gratitude journal after reading a book by a Swiss doctor. Each evening, I write down 3 small things that made me feel grateful during the day: a hug from my child, a warm morning tea, or simply a rain-free sky. After a month, I realized I no longer lay in bed thinking aimlessly. Those lines of text were like a key that locked away all worries, making room for peaceful sleep. Secret. People who keep gratitude journals have 23% higher melatonin levels, University of California study, 2019. 7. Stretching, whispering to the body. Yoga exercise. I learned the happy baby pose from an Indian instructor. Lie on your back, bring your knees up, grasp your feet with your hands, and gently rock like a baby in a cradle. This pose releases tension in the hips, where stress accumulates throughout the day. On some tired nights, I fall asleep in this position without needing to count sheep. Tiny tip. Combine with breathing, inhale when stretching, exhale when relaxing. When nutrition and exercise harmonize, the body naturally enters a hibernation state, where every cell is repaired. In the final part, I'll reveal the secret from centenarians, how they turn sleep into a true elixir of longevity. In 2019, I visited the village of Nicoya, Costa Rica, the place with the highest rate of people living over 100 years old worldwide. There, I met Mrs. Maria, 104 years old, who still danced every evening. She smiled and said, "Dear, living long isn't about sleeping a lot, but about sleeping deeply and waking up with a joyful heart." Here are the last 3 tips I brought back from that journey. 8. Sleeping posture, lying like a log floating on a river. Japanese secret. The Japanese call the ideal sleeping posture shinban, lying on your back straight like a log floating on water. I developed the habit of placing a thin pillow under my neck, not under my head, with my hands lightly on my stomach. An elderly man in Kyoto even taught me to place a warm herbal bag on my navel before sleeping, a method that helps blood circulation, so I wake up without back pain. Scientific insight. Lying on your back reduces the risk of back pain by 50%, Harvard Health Publishing, 2021. 9. Music, melodies that guide you to the subconscious. Personal experience. I once thought music while sleeping was a luxury, until I met a Greek musician. He gave me the track Deep Theta Waves, for Hertz sound waves mimicking brain waves during meditation. I play it every evening. The sound is like ocean waves, putting me to sleep within 10 minutes. Now, I understand why Tibetan monks always sleep with wind chimes. Suggestion. Rainfall sounds, stream flows, or Deuter's instrumental music. 10. Ikigai, waking up with a reason to live. Okinawa story. The biggest secret I learned from the long-lived, they never go to bed feeling bored with life. Mr. Uehara, 102 years old, told me, "Every evening, I think about the vegetables I'll harvest tomorrow, about the children waiting to hear my stories. That makes me want to wake up even before dawn." I started writing down my reason for the morning before bed. Tomorrow, I'll cook miso soup for my daughter or finish the chapter 1 left unread. The next morning, I opened my eyes with a different energy. Data. People with a clear ikigai live up to 7 years longer than those without purpose, University of Tokyo study. Conclusion. These 10 tips aren't just theories, they're a 5-year journey I collected from the world's longest-lived people. Start with a small change tonight. Drink a warm tea, write down something you're grateful for, or simply turn off your phone 30 minutes earlier. As the ancients said, longevity isn't a destination, but how we pass through each peaceful night.